Hey guys, it's Greg Towne, host of the podcast Go Time, where every week I sit down with some of the top leaders of their industries and professions, and they share with you how they became the trendsetters of their industries. It's Go Time. Alrighty, everybody, this is Greg Towne. Thank you for joining me this week on the podcast Go Time, where I get the privilege and the honor of sitting down with the top leaders and the top people within their industries and in their fields. And today, I definitely have the pleasure of sitting down with somebody that I've known for more years than I think either one of us really care to share, and somebody that I have worked with professionally, somebody that I consider to truly be a friend, and probably one of the biggest gurus in understanding of how to not only market, but also how to promote and how to build your business with the customer service side in mind. Lisa Shultz, thank you for joining us today.
It is my pleasure. What a nice introduction.
Well, thank you. You know, I always love finding out how people get started in their paths. How do people get started into what they enjoy and kind of what their passion is? And tell me how did you go down? With customer service being such a great expert in it.
I think when you said they go through their paths, that was the key. Through my various careers, I have found where service was just one of my passions. How do we make it better? How do we find better ways to do things that the customer and our clients really love? The difference is what I found out through my journey is that great customer service can also lead to great profitability. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't cost that much to have amazing customer service. So that's what my whole platform is based on, and it's been successful so far.
Awesome. So what was it like when you first got started within your platform and stuff? What were the channels that you kind of, marketed and promoted or, got your message out there about customer service?
It started within the organizations I worked for. I became an internal trainer, and then I became an external trainer. It started with being in the retail area, starting with the store, having amazing customer service reviews, seeing how other people did it, and then also looking at other industries and how they were doing it. At that level, I was then offered corporate training on that, and then as I've gone through speaking with other people, posting on my blog, and helping people through to make sure that their customer service is a facet of their business that they don't forget about.
Gotcha. And, how important would you say customer service, or, let's go on the flip side and stuff. We just had a question come across in one of our trainings and dealing with negative reviews and stuff. And how important is it for somebody to be on top of their reviews or, to be able, what would you do if you saw a negative review come in for you?
First of all, I would thank them for that negative review, because most people, there was just a report done last year, 94% of the unhappy customers will be passive and never tell you about their system and the problem of the situation. So the first thing you want to do is you want to thank that person for caring enough to give you that negative review. And then we have to react to it, analyze it, and see if it's widespread or a one-time instance, and then move from there.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And if you get a positive review, what do you do? What do you do with your positive reviews and stuff?
With your positive reviews, of course, share it with that individual who made the difference that's so important. But also use this as a positive training tool within all of your staff, within your business. And if it is something that it was an aha moment, put it in your standard operating procedure as something that's working.
Mm-hmm. I love the fact that on both the positive and the negative, you're giving that key, that you're giving that key advice of interacting with the person that actually took the time to review and give you some insight back into your level of service.
Absolutely. We can write all the books we want. We can read or go to all the seminars we want on great service. But until we really know what our customers and our clients want, we're not going to give great service. Mm-hmm. Nordstrom's knows how to give great service because they talk to their customers. They ask for feedback.
Yep. What have been some of the great lessons or great examples that you've seen of great level customer service or great level service period?
It can be throughout any industry, and I post a lot of those kind of situations on my blog. We It can be anything. It can be how it brightens your day. Uh, I have a man who stands out at a car rental place down in San Diego, where I watched him turn a van of grumpy travelers into a group excited about looking at a city. The line could have been as long as they wanted to, and they were willing to wait because when we got off that airplane and we went onto that van, he was the most pleasant individual I've ever remembered. His name was Ralph.
Oh,
And
okay.
by the way, this happened 6 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
Awesome. What are some of the best ways you can see where people can give top-level service to their customers and their clientele?
One of the best ways to do it is look at your team, look at your company, see every single step that happens. Try to be a fly on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
See what they're doing. How would you react to it? You need to be the customer, not the person who's in charge of the P&L, not the person who's in charge of the expenses or the payroll. You're the person who's walking in there, and will you want to do business with your company? That is probably the first training step that I always say is, what do you see when you walk into your company?
Mm-hmm. How important do you see service in? A lot of our listeners and stuff. They're what I refer to as professional services. So a lot of real estate, a lot of insurance, even attorneys and chiropractors and dentists. A lot of people that give professional level service, but they're also in charge of their own marketing and kind of finding their own clientele and stuff. So how important would you say giving service is going to be as we're moving forward now to 2017 and into the future?
There's a couple questions there, which are great. First of all, for those business professionals, if you have someone paying for your service, you have a customer service issue, period. So it's a question of what are you willing to do for your clients and what keeps you different than your competition. There's Seth Godin that I absolutely adore, The Purple Cow. Highly recommend you read it and look at your business, whether it be the one-man CPA or woman CPA, into the house decorator, interior design, whatever it is, the dentist's office. Look at that and see how your clients will not go to the competition because of the level of service and the unique proposition you offer them.
Mm-hmm.
Did that answer your question?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's jump on the other side of the fence here. What are some examples you've seen where there's just been an absolute service fail, where somebody has just kind of blown it as badly as possible?
Some of those great examples of a total service breakdown, they're no longer in business.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of people will go back to a company at least 4 times as long as the service is good if the product is bad.
Oh, wow.
The first time they think, you know what, it was a bad day, but boy, the service was great. Think of your favorite restaurant, great? Okay? What would happen if your favorite restaurant, and I think we both know what it is, you came in and the service was amazing, but the food was okay? What would you do?
Probably they've got a new chef or somebody new on the cooking staff, or maybe there is just there was a hiccup in the kitchen.
Right. Would you come back?
Yes.
Okay. What would happen if it happened the second time? Food was cold, coffee's cold, water's hot.
Since my favorite restaurant, I actually know the owners very well, I probably would reach out to the owners and stuff, just kind of make sure it's getting on their radar and they know about it.
And then the third time?
I may not, and in all honesty, I may not even be back for the 4th time.
There you go. Exactly. So what happens is that when the service level is good, we allow a little bit of system failure.
Mm-hmm.
When the service level is bad, let's say the food was fantastic, but the staff didn't acknowledge you.
Mm-hmm.
You waited at the front for a table for 5-6 minutes. You had to ask for your check 4 times. They didn't fill your water glass, but the food was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be inclined to go back?
Yes. And ironically, I can actually think of a restaurant when I was vacationing in New Mexico to where and it was one of my parents' favorite restaurants, and actually went there twice on that trip. The first one was their favorite server and stuff, which was just absolutely top dog, above the best, huge, best, best. I mean, just over the top. I actually picked up the tab for that for my parents and stuff.
Good son.
Yes.
Way to go.
And I tipped her very, very well. And then right as I was leaving, as we were heading out and stuff, we stopped there for lunch or for dinner too, because I had a night flight back. And it was their least favorite server. And you're absolutely correct. It was a night and day. I mean, the two different experiences were it was two extremely different, experiences.
Right. And so people are more gracious when the service is great and the product is bad than when the service is bad and the product is good.
Yeah.
And you can see that through the airline industry. You've got some leaders in the airline industry that really put the client first and the customer first, and they have been profitable versus other major airlines that put their investment in systems, but not the people.
Yeah.
So to me, airlines is a great example, but everybody has the smallest examples. You can be the brightest and most intelligent business professional, but if you don't have the service level skills, they're not going to come back because they need to feel special.
Yeah. Is there a way that you'd be able to quantify for somebody as far as what there's, what good service is adding to their bottom line or what bad service is taking away from their bottom line?
That's a great question. Studies are being done now, and we currently do studies as well. But we have seen in the larger companies, companies that I've worked for in the past, that we could get about 17% more business through great service.
Oh, wow.
Because they're in our stores longer. They're picking other things up. You can look at top-notch retailers who have that personal concierge, those people on the sales floor, and you're upselling to a consistent beat. And if they like you, they're willing to trust you with their decisions and their purchasing power.
So literally it means that their average ticket price is $100. That's increasing $17 more on top of that. That's huge.
It's huge. It's huge. And what people don't realize is when a career I've had is literally we sell service. We sell the same stuff day in and day out as 11 of our competitors, and the difference is the service level.
Yeah.
And we can show that we can increase our fees a little bit more as long as we provide different levels of service for them.
Yeah, it is. There's the business training concept and stuff. It's like we all provide. I mean, customers expect a good product. Customers expect you to quote. What I tell people is like, customers just come to expect for you to do what they view as you're doing your job.
Right.
What they pay more for is the level of service, which to me is almost like the level of caring and the level of love that you have for your clientele.
Right. I agree with you on that. And I think that you hit the nail on the head when you said they expect service. It's the kind of service they expect or the wow factor that makes it unique. And like I said, it doesn't have to cost anything. The other day I was in an office and I watched this gentleman come in. Quick story, and he stopped me and he says, I want you to know that that person is the reason I'll be back. I came in 20 minutes earlier, and the first person is the reason I wouldn't come back.
Oh, wow.
And it was all in the way they were approached.
I teach a class on the roadmap to the sale. And the second step in it is what I refer to as the greeting. And when a company is failing, I try not to name the company, but I will utilize them as an example, but I won't name them directly. And I mean, there's a retailer out that just recently announced they're closing several locations. And I've jokingly referred to them as an example for the longest time because I can walk into just about any one of their stores and I can never get greeted. I jokingly tell people, it's like I almost feel like I want to go grab some merchandise, stick it in my pocket, so I at least have loss prevention come up to me.
Well, and I think I know what store that is, and you're right. It's their level of not training people how people want to be received, and And it's so important, and it doesn't take a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's a consistent culture, and you as a business owner need to build that culture, and you'll be paid back tenfold.
Gotcha. What are some of the best ways for people to start building that culture? Start, making sure they're implementing. How do people become more aware of providing customer service?
Number one, write down what you expect. Write down what you expect as the business owner in your daily runnings with your client, with the people that you do business with. You're the customer. How do you like it? Really react to your favorite people you love to work with. You go to their restaurants, you go to their stores, you use them for professionally. Then figure out why you do that. Then what don't you like and who wouldn't you refer, and go through that. The next thing, ask your team. If you have a staff, ask them, and start with very quick little meetings. Once a week, once every other week. Hey, tell me of a great customer service experience. What can we take from that and put in our business? What's a bad one? And you know what? Go on if you're having problems with it. There are over 300 different customer service websites that you can go to. Some great, some not so great. But I think you can find something that interests you on everything. I'm not the be-all, end-all. I wish I were. But there is something that'll help you.
Yeah. Awesome. What's that one question you wish more people would ask you?
It's a great question. Pertaining to my business or in general?
In general. It's an open conversation.
Oh, how about if... I was just laughing last night. The question that I always love to ask is, if you had 10 people over for dinner, who would they be? Has nothing to do with this. So down our field of great service for life and how to build your business, the question I would want people to ask more of is, what do you see when I walk in the door, and what was your experience like? We don't ask that enough. That's
huge. That's a good key.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, hey Lisa, what are some ways that our followers and stuff, can they follow you? What are like social media sites, or what is the best way for somebody to connect with you?
Perfect. Well, social media sites, I am totally on that. My Twitter it's Laughs First, LAFS FIRST. Then you can always jump on my blog. How may I help you blog? On WordPress. I post once to twice a month, and you can always contact me directly. We do a lot of different things in training and one-on-ones, consultations, evaluations, and I'm happy to help.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Any other parting words of wisdoms, or any other final thoughts you'd love to put out there?
Thanks for that. First thing I would do is, if you are not looking at your business knowing that you could be walking 15 to 20% out your door because of bad service, stop right now and look at what 15 to 20% will do to your bottom line this year, and make customer service part of your business planning.
I think just about any failing business out there, any failed business out there, if they could have improved their bottom line by 15 to 20%, I think that would have been the difference between failing and success.
A good point. I agree with you 100%.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us this week, Lisa. It has been a pleasure, chatting with you, and I really enjoyed our conversation.
Awesome. Thank you, Greg.
Cool.